It'll be beautiful. It'll be beautiful. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Wise guys. We got wise guys. You know, sometimes you'd like to sit down with a guy like that. If you talk to somebody like that for a couple of minutes, I really think, unless, you know, there's other motives, which there often are, but you talk to somebody like that for 15 minutes, what do we all want? We want security, we want safety, we want a home, we want a great family, we want health care, we want good jobs, right? I mean, whether you're a liberal Democrat, a conservative Republican, don't we all sort of, if you think about it, we want security. We want strong, strong security, because our country now is in trouble. Now, look, when it comes, and when I first came down, I said trade, but I said the border. That border is going to be so strong. And the Syrians cannot be allowed to come in, folks. We don't know who the hell they are. We don't know who they are. We don't know who they are. There's no paperwork. There's no documentation. Do you ever look at that migration? You say, look at all the young men. Where are the women? Where are the children, right? Take a look at what's happening to Germany. It is a disaster what's happening to Germany. What's happening to Sweden, what's happening to Brussels. You just take a look. It's not going to happen to our country. We're going to make our country stronger than ever before. If you look at our GDP for the last quarter, we had no growth. We had no growth. We're losing jobs. We have a phony jobs number. They say it's down to 5%. The real number is 25%. And if it wasn't, I wouldn't be having crowds like this at every stadium. The real number, and that 5% number, is a number that was devised by politicians to look good. Believe me, that's just to look good. And the jobs they're talking about, and everybody admits it, these are bad jobs. These are crummy jobs. These aren't the jobs they want. And the part-time jobs are all over the place. People working part-time jobs that never had a part-time job. So we're going to take our jobs back from China and all of these other countries. I have a friend. He's a great contractor, and he's a great merchandiser, and he cannot get his product into China. No matter what he does, he can't. They send their product. Oh, bye-bye. Good job, fella. Bye-bye. Look, see, he's smiling. See, he's having a good time. Oh, I love the old days, you know? You know what I hate? There's a guy totally disruptive, throwing punches. We're not allowed to punch back anymore. I love the old days. You know what they used to do to guys like that when they were in a place like this? They'd be carried out on a stretcher, folks. That's true. You know, I love our police, and I really respect our police, and they're not getting enough. They're not. But honestly, I hate to see that. Here's a guy throwing punches, nasty as hell, screaming and everything else when we're talking, and he's walking out, and we're not allowed, you know, the guards are very gentle with him. He's walking out like big high fives, smiling, laughing. I'd like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you. You know, it brings up something. 2 debates ago, they hit Ted Cruz with a question. And this guy's so overrated, it's ridiculous. They hit him with a question. You know, I always say about Ted Cruz, he can debate, but he can't talk. Does that make sense? But they hit him with a question on waterboarding. And they said, what do you think of waterboarding? Is it good? And, you know, he got really all messed up. He couldn't answer the question. He was a mess. And because he didn't want to say waterboarding's a good thing. And now waterboarding is, nothing's pretty, but they're chopping off heads, right? They're chopping off heads. They're drowning people in steel cages, leaving them in the ocean for an hour and then lifting them up after many, many people drown. But they're chopping off heads, and they're saying to themselves, can you believe how weak and pathetic the Americans are? So they're asking Ted Cruz, what do you think of waterboarding? Well, well, what do I say? I want to be politically correct. Waterboarding, it's so terrible. Waterboarding is so, even though they're chopping off heads, waterboarding is so. He couldn't answer the question. He was like a mess. Then they said to me, what do you think of waterboarding? I said, I think it's great, but I don't think we go far enough. And the whole place, it's true. It's true. True, right? We don't go far enough. We don't go far enough. And now the press will write tomorrow, Trump is a mean guy. I'm not a mean guy. I'm not a mean guy. I'm just a guy that doesn't want to be pushed around by a bunch of animals. These are animals. So there won't be any more Fords going to Mexico. There won't be any more different trades going to Mexico. I don't eat Nabisco anymore, frankly. I don't eat Oreos anymore, which is a good thing, not a bad thing. But when they announced they're moving their plant into Mexico, it's not going to happen, okay? It's not going to happen. So we're going to be very smart. Now, here's what happened. Carl Icahn, great businessman, he endorsed me. Other great businessmen, they endorsed me. We have some of the most important deals we're making now are trade deals. To me, security is the most important thing always, okay? Just so you know. Just so you know. CNN did a poll, and in the poll they said, Trump for security is the best. Trump for the military is the best. Trump for the economy is the best. I don't mean by a little bit. I mean by so much you wouldn't believe it, by 40 points, 50 points. I was in the 60 percentiles, and said that's where we had like 12 people. Trump for so many things. Trump for leadership is the best. Trump at the border is the best. True. Trump, now this probably had to do with Sheriff Joe and all, but Trump for the border is the best, and because I'm so good on the border, and believe me, we're going to have people come in, they come in legally, and they're going to go through a process, but legally. But we are going to be really strong on the border. We're going to have the strongest border anywhere. Nobody's going to have a border like us, believe me. Believe me. And, you know, I told, because I thought it was a little bit funny. You know, the Pope came out and he sort of said some things, and this was the day of the election. The Pope. And they came to me, they said, Mr. Trump, the Pope just made some statements about you. I said, the Pope? What do I have to do with the Pope? I said, don't tell me this. This is like 10 hours before the election, right? South Carolina, the election, I have a question. The Pope is hitting me hard. And he said things about the border, and you can't have a wall. And I said, wow, but I've seen the Vatican. That's the biggest, strongest wall I've ever seen, right? I've never seen a wall like that. In fact, I want to use that as my model for the wall we want to build. But anyway, no, the Mexican officials, who are very smart, don't forget, they're making a fortune with us. Trade deficit with Mexico, $58 billion a year. These politicians come up to me. They used to say, you can't really build a wall, can you? And I say, China, 13,000 miles, the Great China Wall, the Wall of China, right? 13,000 miles long. It was built 2,000 years ago. No, we can't build a wall with Caterpillar tractors all over the place. So that's 13,000. We need 1,000, all right? And we're going to make it higher. I want to make it higher than the wall in China so that we can say, Won't be as wide, but it'll be higher, okay? That I can tell you. So we go on, and let me just explain something. We're going to have such great security that we're going to be the model for the world. We're going to be a model for the rest of the world. We have gone from being a laughingstock. We'll go to the exact opposite. One of the things that you see, and I say all the time, we don't win anymore. We don't beat ISIS. We're going to knock the hell out of them, folks. We don't win with health care. We're going to have great health care. We don't win with education. You know, I was going to say on education, right? To be ranked number 30th and to spend that kind of money is so sad, We're going to balance our budgets relatively quickly. I don't want to do it too quickly, but it can go very quickly. Some of the politicians said we think we can balance them over a 25-year period. Do you believe that? Over a 25-year period. There was a man in baseball. Did anyone ever hear of Charles O. Finley? Charles O. George Steinbrenner was a great friend of mine. Charles Finley used to drive him crazy. He said, Donald, this guy is so great. He had no money, but he would have the best team. He had Catfish Hunter. He had Reggie Jackson. He had the lowest salary in baseball by far, right, for those, and he won 3 World Series in a row. Then he'd take the players, Reggie Jackson, and he'd trade them. That's what we want to be. We don't want to spend our money. We want to be the best at everything without having necessarily to spend it. It's like I say, to spend the least on a campaign and to be the best, we want to do that for our country. And we're going to do that for our country. We're going to. I love these people. I love these people. So, the most important thing we can all do, we got to do, I'm telling you, I'm going to be at everyone, I'm going to be all over the place tomorrow. The most important thing we can do is, I'm not going to use the word caucus. I'm going to use the word just vote, because people say, I don't want to give you an excuse. What the hell is caucus? Nobody even knows what it means. We have a great Republican Party right here in the state. Where is my Republican Party? Where are they? Where's my leader? Where is my leader? And they're going to be watching. You know, it is Las Vegas. It's a little tricky. I could tell you some pretty bad stories about what happened in Iowa, but I won't tell you about that, all right? These caucusing. So we're going to go out tomorrow, and we're going to have a big victory, hopefully. I mean, frankly, if the people in this room went out and did it, would win practically with that amount of people. So we're going to go out tomorrow, and we're going to get it started. You look at the cover of Time magazine. The cover of Time magazine from a couple of weeks ago, it talks about the movement. It's a picture of me standing like this with a massive audience, a picture of the back of my head, and I had my hair combed just perfectly. It was so good. I don't know if they did a touch-up, but I liked it. But it was a picture of me speaking to a massive crowd of people, and they said, there has never been a thing like this that's ever happened in politics in the history of this country. Amazing. So you're going to go out and vote, and here's the story. We're going to start winning again. We're going to start feeling good about ourselves again. We're going to get rid of people that are incompetent, people that negotiated an Iran deal and don't know what they're doing. We're going to have the best people in the world negotiating our trade deals. We're going to break up the trade deals. We're going to make money instead of losing money with every country in the world. We're going to bring our jobs back to this country where they belong. We're going to bring our jobs back. And remember, we're going to start winning again. We're going to win on trade. We're going to win with the military. We're going to win at every single level. We're going to win, win, win. And I jokingly say that we're going to win so much that maybe you're going to say, Mr. President, we're getting so bored and so tired of winning. Please don't win anymore. We're just tired. Let's go back to the old way, and I'll say there's no way. We're going to make America great again, and we're going to keep winning, winning, winning. And I love you. We're going to win. Go out tomorrow and vote. Thank you. I love you. I love you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.